Hello, and welcome to Have a Heart Breakfast for Dinner. I'm Randy, and I serve as a board member here at Community Youth Services. On behalf of us all, thank you for tuning in tonight. This year, like the rest of the world, we face challenges both long overdue and unexpected. I'd like to begin this evening by thanking our sponsors who recognize that in the face of 2020 and 2021, that our work became more vital and more important to the youth in our community than it had ever been before. So thank you to the Chehalis tribe who really led the charge in their generosity this year, and to the additional sponsors who followed and joined in to make Have a Heart as normal as possible. Fresh Start Housing, WSECU, also known as the Washington State Employee Credit Union, Heritage Bank, Bronze Automotive, Propel Insurance. Thank you so much. We also have the support of additional businesses. You'll see their logos roll through, and I hope you support them as they have supported us. We're also grateful just to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for caring about the community, about us, and about the youth that we serve. It's so important. Our comedy show tonight is really just a collection of comedic moments that have brought smiles to the faces of our team in 2020. It got us through. It helped us make light of things. I think that's a good way to put it. I hope it paints a smile on your face as well as leaves you with a chuckle at the end of the night to kind of lighten the load. We'll start tonight out with a few words from our marvelous CEO, Derek. He'll be right after this. And again, thank you for coming in on behalf of all of us at CYS.
Hello, my name is Derek Harris, he, him, his, and I'm honored to serve as the CEO of Community Youth Services, also known as CYS. I would like to thank you all for attending CYS's first virtual, accessible to all, evening Have a Heart fundraiser. We've decided to intertwine some lighthearted humor throughout our event this year. And before we get started there, I want to welcome you all. Thank you for joining us and speak about the significant work that CYS does every single day. CYS has served numerous communities for over 50 years and provides services across the domains of early intervention, juvenile justice, employment and education, shelter and housing, and behavioral health and wellness. The services CYS provides benefits over 6,000 plus youth, young adults, and families each and every year. At CYS, we believe in strengthening our communities by empowering youth and families to create their own success. I am so proud of the work our dedicated and creative staff, leadership, board of directors, and community has done over the last year, as well as we've received immense support throughout this unprecedented time. The support has allowed us to adapt and be aware of ways we must make changes to continue service delivery while reducing harm and barriers for young people and our community. This last year has given us the opportunity to adapt, be creative, listen, be present, and be accountable. As we continue to work through the incredible adversity in response to the COVID pandemic, systemic racism, and sustainable solutions for our unhoused participants and community members, we understand and see the need to take our commitment further through staff education, power shifting, accountability, deepening anti-racist partnerships and actions, and walking through these and other steps together. During this COVID pandemic, we adapted our operations, leaned into our creativity, and amplified communication so that youth, young adults, and families we serve would still be able to receive the support to accomplish their goals. We continued service delivery through safe and socially distanced avenues. Telehealth through video connections and sufficient PPE worn by staff to continue safely working in person with participants where program required the essential work to continue. Name a couple quick ways we adapted to the conditions and regulations during the pandemic. All of our teams continue to operate through numerous pandemic challenges while keeping staff and participant safety as our #1 concern. Our essential service shelters continue to operate 24/7 and be accessible when a young person in crisis needs a safe place to be with very minimal issues. CYS also acknowledges that to live through our mission, we must do better through solidarity actions. We must amplify Black, Indigenous, Native, and people of color, BIPOC, voices and stories, especially Black trans women, while including all intersectional representation. We must continue to speak out against all forms of racism and systemic injustice. We must educate ourselves on racism in this country, nonprofit history and complex, levels of racism, individualized, internalized, interpersonal, institutional, and structural, abolitionism, and how white supremacy was designed to work exactly as it does. We must and are partnering with like-minded organizations committed to anti-racism. We must walk in solidarity and reduce harm through anti-racist actions because our marginalized participants and community deserve that. Last year, we put out a statement in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and supported callouts from all levels of our communities to address racial inequities. To align with our voice and callouts, I acknowledge CYS must also be accountable for our past and present. We are working in partnership with the YWCA of Olympia's Intercultural Foundations to help us embed a framework for this within our organization. Also need to acknowledge that we will continue to create harm because we work within systems of harm. As we work to create our racial equity plan, we will continue to work throughout our value systems that elevates transparency and advocacy at minimum. Only then are we really aligning equity and inclusion with our mission. Our CYS leadership team has met weekly and within focused workshop days over the last 2 years to assess, envision, develop, and improve our agency's culture, inclusivity, practices, and accountability standards at the individual and organizational levels. We recognize how vital it is for us within our service community, funders, and other stakeholders, and we are currently developing the ways to accomplish that. We are committed over the next year to hire a permanent diversity director, establish a permanent equity and accountability council, incorporate social justice values, norms, and actions within all areas of our strategic planning, and develop and implement a standalone race equity and inclusion plan that will guide and hold us accountable over the next 3 years. CYS is driven by the communities we serve and their needs, which changes from time to time. We must continue to advocate and amplify the needs of those we serve, while also working to dismantle barriers and limitations that are outside of our control. We see the platform and privilege that CYS holds, and we must use that strategically to dismantle system of harms and violence that specifically our Black, Indigenous, Native, and people of color, participants, staff, and communities are bombarded with. I appreciate you being here to support the journeys of young people and elevate the importance of that support being equitable and inclusive. Young people who find their way to CYS are often looking for safety and to be heard. I have seen when a young person feels that, and that connection includes a level of trust, support, stability, and self-confidence that propels a young person through accomplishing their individual goals. You are a key partner that supports CYS to continue providing vital services, safe space, and support to youth and families in our communities, while jointly contributing to their success and well-being each and every year. Again, thank you so much for being here with us in this new format and event time. We appreciate being in community with you and are forever grateful for your support. Enjoy the rest of the event, and keep in mind, if you're able to, please consider supporting our programming and advocacy now and in the future. I know that the theme tonight is humor. I don't necessarily know if I have any jokes, but oh, is this? Have I been silenced the whole time? Can you hear that? Is my mic on? How do you? What's that Zoom button? Oh, okay, you could hear me. Okay, great. Okay, sorry about that. Still getting used to this Zoom thing after a year. Okay, all good. Hey everybody, please enjoy the rest of our event.